Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to Nine Barrel Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about the cultural update. So as you know, last year Dress to Impress had a cultural update, and a lot of people are wondering if we are getting one this year. So that is what I'm going to be getting into in this video. So let's get into it. If you're a Dress to Impress player and you played Dress to Impress in early 2025, then you probably know what the cultural update is and probably have the items. Now, if you're a player who wasn't playing in early 2025, or a new player, you probably do not know what I'm talking about. So this is the cultural update. It came out last year on May 17th. So here's what last year's cultural update looked like. We got outfits inspired by 9 different cultures, and here are just some sneak peeks of some of the items and clothing, what it looked like, and also some of the makeup that we did get from last year's cultural update. So a lot of people are wanting another cultural update, and a lot of people are also saying the cultural updates should be granted for all players since it is about culture, which I agree also. But a lot of people are wondering what's going on with the cultural update because it still hasn't been here because it, as you can see, is definitely past May 17th. Well, here's what I think is going on. As you know, Dress to Impress has been very busy this year, and if you realize last year they only had 2 updates before the cultural update. So if we look it up, we can see that Dress to Impress only had 2 updates before the cultural update, and only one of them can be considered a major update. So they had the Valentine's Day update, and then the April Fool's / the Easter update, which are smaller updates. As far as this year, they had 8 updates before this upcoming cultural update, and most of them are major updates. Only 2 of them can be considered small updates, the April Fool's update and the Easter update. The rest are major updates. They had a Black History Month update, a Lunar New Year update, and the Valentine's update, which they did bring back old code items for, and they also brought back the old quests. We also had the Tokyo update, which included a map change and the baddie pass, and then the Katseye collab, which lasted 3 weeks and had a quest, a hunt, like different quests and hunts inside of it. So is it reasonable to assume that all of these updates just might have put Dress to Impress back? That's probably why this update is coming out later, just because they had so many updates before it. So this is probably just setting them back a little bit. And another thing that is probably setting them back is because the recent manager, Imoe, recently announced her departure. And if you didn't know, last year when the cultural update came out, these cards, I don't know how many of you remember them, but Imoe actually handwritten all of these. So she wrote these herself, no ChatGPT, no nothing. She came up with this. So with a mixture of all the updates they had before, and with Imoe leaving, knowing that she would usually handle this stuff and handle this updates, this could all just have set Dress to Impress back a little bit. So that's probably why the cultural update is going to be later than it usually is, because they are just a bit off track. But it's not too much off track because it came out May 17th and it's just a little bit later. So I think with everything that's going on, it's just setting Dress to Impress back a little. That's all. But since we talked about why this update is late, now let's talk about when it might be coming out. So right now when you join Dress to Impress, it says new update later this month. And as you know, we are already pretty deep in May. As the time I'm filming and posting this video, it is May 20th. So again, we are already pretty deep into May. And we only have 2 days really that they might release this update, because as you know, Dress to Impress love releasing updates on Saturday. So if we are all assuming that this update is going to be coming out on Saturday, then we only have 2 days for this update to come out. And that is May 23rd and May 30th. Now, I am leaning towards that this update might come out May 30th, just because if we look at the Dress to Impress calendar for the weekly boutique, we can see they have a date for everything except May 30th, which is officially the last Saturday of May. So most likely we might be getting this update May 30th, but we could also be getting it May 23rd, but those are just my opinions. But I most likely think May 30th is more likely, just because they don't have a weekly boutique calendar for it, but I could be wrong. But since we talked about why the update is delayed and when it's going to be coming out, let's talk about some of the cultures that we might get and some of the cultures that I think we should get. The first culture is Polynesian culture. Now, I was hearing somebody say how cool this culture will be adding in because of all the different things that we can get. And I also heard a lot of people saying them adding Polynesian culture would be the chance for us to get tattoos, which I think is really cool. And if you don't know, Polynesian culture is also what Moana is. So I think Moana, so we could get tattoos and a lot of different cool tropical outfits. So I think Polynesian culture would be a cool culture to bring to Dress to Impress. Another culture that I think they should add in is ancient Egyptian culture. I think this culture will be very cool to add into Dress to Impress. I think it is also a great opportunity for Dress to Impress to add more textured hair, like afros and braids and just curly hair in general, but also a great opportunity for them to add a lot of different hair pieces, jewelry, bangles, and like cool eye makeup. And also like cool staffs and like maybe different wraps and stuff. I think that would be super cool to add in. Like I just think that would be like some really cool ideas, and especially if they add the mommy wraps, like that would be great for like Cleo de Nile outfits. So that's just my thought process, but I also think that would be a cool culture to add. Another culture I think Dress to Impress should add is Chinese culture. Now, I know we did get Lunar New Year updates, but it only really gave us Lunar New Year items instead of exploring Chinese culture as a whole. So I think doing this cultural update, them adding different items and accessories from Chinese culture, I think would be really cool. Another culture that I want added is ancient Roman culture. Especially inspired by the gladiator days, this will also be a great chance to give the male body a nice set also, and this will be a great chance for us to get different staffs, weapons, and helmets, and a lot of different armor pieces that would be really cool to add in Dress to Impress. And I also think giving us woman-inspired gladiator items would be super cute, and these woman-inspired gladiator outfits would really give off that warrior princess and Athena vibe, which I think would be so cool to add in Dress to Impress. And last and finally, the last culture that I would think would be cool for Dress to Impress to add is Jamaican culture. Specifically from the carnival, they have just a lot of colorful and fun different outfits that I think would be so cool to add and Dress to Impress. For both the male and female body, they just have so many fun things that they do in this carnival, as well as the outfits, the hair. And again, this would be another great chance for Dress to Impress to add more braids and locks. I think that would be super cool. And just to add some very fun, colorful outfits like feathers and very fun, colorful makeup, which I think would be really cool for Dress to Impress to add in. But that is all the cultures that I want to see in Dress to Impress. Comment down below some of the cultures that you guys want to see in Dress to Impress. But anyways, guys, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and comment down below some of your opinions on this cultural update and the cultural items. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Bye!